I had some ladies message me that they were going to unfollow me because they didn't think that I was being, my revenge villain era was too much for them and they don't want to be a part of it. So let's just clear one thing up, guys, ladies out there, whoever, you know, this is my diary. This is my page. This is what happened to me. And I will sit here and tell the story because I want people to know that you can get through hard things. You can be an inspiration to other people by telling your story and sharing it authentically. And so that's what I'm doing. If you don't want to see a 52-year-old woman who's been scorned by her soon-to-be ex-husband when he literally took everything from her and left her with nothing, then this isn't the place for you guys, okay? Not the place for you. Because once you hear the full story and you hear what was done to me, then you can decide whether you think being a villain is a great idea or not. Because, you know, to me, this seems like a great time for part 2 of story time, right? Let's just get the story out there so that people can truly understand why I want revenge, why I want him to see me blow up with 2 million views on how he sucked the life out of me. Okay? So let's back up to 1 year ago, August of last year. My husband and I were laying in bed one night and he drops the biggest bomb on me. He said, I'm thinking about harming myself and I'm worried that I'm going to crumble under the weight of all of this pressure. And I instantly was like, what do you mean? Well, what was going on was he had been overdrafting his account, spending money we didn't have and not telling me that he needed more money for me. And so every month that he was overdrafting his account, he was using money from our home equity line of credit, which was an adjustable rate mortgage payment, $49,000 adjustable rate interest rate every month. He was using the home equity line of money to cover all of his overdraft charges instead of coming to me and saying, hey, babe, you know, I need 400 extra bucks this month, or I need 40 bucks because I overdrafted my account to stop the hemorrhaging. There was zero communication from him about money, and all the bills were in his name. And so he continued to do that for a year until the home equity line of credit was maxed out. And then that's when he finally had to tell me that the pressure of all of the financial stuff was weighing on him so much that he was thinking about, you know, taking his life. And so my first instinct was, oh my God, you know, my husband is not well. How can I fix this? I wasn't angry at first. I was so worried that he was going to hurt himself. And so I immediately went into overdrive thinking about how can we get out of this financial situation? How can I save my husband, right? Nothing was more important to me than his life. So my daughter, I was talking to her about it and she offered for us to come. She said, I think I can get him a job at the place where I work. You know, do you think he would consider moving out here to Virginia? You guys can live with us. You can pay off all your debt. He'll have a better paying job. You guys can build your own home. You know, you'll be closer to her brother and I. And so, you know, it took me a couple of weeks to convince him to finally have an interview with the company. But when he did, he took the job on a Thursday. I'm sorry, talked to the guy on Thursday. He offered him a job on Friday. And on Sunday, he was on a flight out to Virginia to start his new job, leaving me behind to take care of selling all of our things. Our house had been on the market for 3 months, hadn't sold. So I stayed behind to take care of all that stuff. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm going to fix this. We're going to go sacrifice. We're going to sell everything. We're going to leave our dream home. All of my friends, my business, my bowling ladies, my bowling team, everything that I loved, my dog sitting business. I had a dog sitting business. I'm a huge pet lover. And, you know, for me to walk away from all of that because the only thing I was concerned about was that my husband wasn't going to hurt himself. And so he took the job on, I can't remember, I think it was like August 24th or something like that. He's 3 days gone. So he goes to Virginia to live with my daughter, and I stay back in Idaho for another 8 weeks, selling everything, packing everything, moving everything to my garage. I had 3 yard sales. It was just exhausting. And then I took my dog, I loaded everything that I needed to start fresh in Virginia and loaded it into a tiny U-Haul and drove cross country. Then got there, got set up, realized I had gotten myself into a horrible situation because the 8 weeks prior that my husband was there with my daughter, the two of them were just, you know, hate Malaine. How can we need to change Malaine. Everything about Malaine is wrong. She needs to go get a real job. She can't live as an artist. All the stuff. I heard it all. And so I walked away from everything to move to the East Coast with my husband. Then when in January, our house in Idaho flooded. They pumped out 55,000 gallons of water from our house that we had on the market, which was an absolute catastrophe. And we had to take care of all that. So I went back to Idaho 3 weeks before our house actually sold and we wrote a contract. I went by myself. I drove back out to Idaho, stayed for 3 weeks, got everything done. My husband came 3 nights before we were supposed to sign the closing of our paperwork. And up until that time, we had been fighting like crazy. We weren't really being intimate with each other. And I had told him that we had to get out of my daughter's house or our marriage was not going to survive it. So when he came to Idaho and I picked him up at the airport, I was so happy to see him. We had 2 incredible nights of just like intimacy. And it was like we were in our own home again. And it was incredible. And on the Friday morning that we were supposed to close on our house at 12 o'clock at noon, Friday morning at 6:15, I woke up and he was staring at me. And I was like, what are you looking at? What's going on? And he goes, I have to tell you something. And I said, okay. He goes, I saw an attorney. And I said, for what? And he said, for a divorce. So, of course, I instantly start bawling. I don't know what the heck just happened. We just spent 2 incredible nights together. I'm thinking that and all those 3 days that he was there, we were going out to eat. We were living our best lives. We were talking about how excited we were. We were looking at property. The whole time he knew he had gone to a lawyer and had divorce papers drawn up. And so, yeah, joke's on me, right? What a fool I look like. I'm sitting here thinking, my dream life's about to happen. We're about to sell our house and cash in on $311,000. And this guy tells me the minute that we're closing on our house, he wants a divorce. So thank God for that, because I got on the phone immediately with my realtor and told her we needed 2 checks, one for $155,000 for each of us. And that is why I'm not going after him, you guys, because he isn't worth the fight. All he wanted me for was money, and when I couldn't provide what he wanted because of his power struggle or whatever, I refused to give up who I was. He decided he didn't want to be with me anymore. So you know what? He can take his money and whatever his shit is, and I hope that money keeps him warm at night, because you guys, you know what? I don't need his money. You know why? Because I'm rich. I'm rich already because I lost 200 pounds of dead weight off of me. Look at this glow up that I've had. And that is all because I ditched the trash. Okay. I don't want his money. I don't need his money. I have my own money and I'll make my own money. All I want from him is a divorce, peace, and my last name back. So if that isn't the kind of place that you're interested in seeing my journey and my transformation and how I'm going to live my best life after being discarded by the man who I loved more than anything, then you should go. And I won't let the door hit you on the way out. Okay? Thanks.